weeks, and we can start the steep ascent, the steep climb that we already have achieved once under the Make America Great Again mantra. We're going to have to make America great again mantra. 2 A's, Make America Great Again mantra, by supporting our beloved President Donald Trump and helping him to lead us and to champion our cause, because he has the vision, he has the knowledge, he has the experience, and he has the stamina to lead us out of this crisis. And so, my dear friends, please, please, please pray for President Trump. Please support him in Twitter and on Facebook and among friends. Today I was on the street and a person had an American flag and a Trump flag flying next to each other, and the person was standing on the street corner, and people stopped and gave him a honk or gave him a thumbs up sign, and many gave him a thumbs down side. But at least people didn't throw rocks at them and didn't tear down their flag and didn't tear down their Trump flag and didn't jump out of their cars and kick them in the shins. At least people can express themselves all they want. That's a good thing. Let me stop here a minute. People can express themselves all they want. This is America. That's what we do. But these good people went out into the street with an American flag and a Trump flag and stood out there willing to be vilified, but also willing to be cheered on to give support to our president, because they said our president is a champion for us, and we need him to champion us, because we can't do it individually, but collectively. In supporting him, we can make America great again. And this can happen. It can happen in a very short time. And so we may not even have Trump rallies again before the election, but there's video. Laura Trump, Eric's wife, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders are out there on video, on YouTube and the like more. Candace Owens, a wonderful, wonderful Trump supporter, is out there attempting to run for Congress. Mr. James, forgive me, I just at the spur of the moment thought of him. I don't know his name. James is running for Congress, going to be a great supporter of the president. Mark Meadows is now the chief of staff, going to be a great supporter of the president. We had Laura Ingraham and A.G. Barr giving a great interview, giving us insight into what really happened, and yet encouraging us to wait until they have a strong case in order that they may reveal the depth of the coup d'etat attempt against the president of the United States and the like more. So there is hope. There is definitely hope. More than hope, there is strong hope. And as we approach the new week, the president has encouraged us to see Easter as a resurrection from the dead. A resurrection from the dead. And that's what Easter is. The enemies of Jesus attempted to kill him and destroy him. He died, and they were dancing victorious. But on the third day, he rose from the dead and put them to shame, because he marched into the future and put them forever into the past. And so we, who support the president of the United States, have been buried by them already, and they're dancing on our graves. But you know what? In a few days, a week or two, under the leadership of President Trump, Larry Kudlow, Steve Mnuchin, Steve Forbes, and Mark Cube, other advisors to the president, we're going to put them in the past and march ourselves into the future as one united, undivided, God-fearing, God-loving, weapons-bearing, Bible-toting, worshiping nation under God. And we're going to march into the future and make America great again. So thank you very much for listening. I'm Frederick Henry, and I really, really appreciate it. I just want you to know something. This podcast is from one citizen, myself, to you. And when I speak, I vision you, because I listen to my dear friend, Black Conservative Patriot. I've listened to my dear friend Don Bongino. I've listened to my dear friend Hannity, on much bigger than I am, Laura Ingraham, but Black Conservative Patriot, Don Bongino, many other podcasters, but mainly I appreciate you, and I listen to my dear friend Rush Limbaugh. I think Rush Limbaugh deserves to be held up as the pioneer, the trailblazer of talk radio and even of podcast radio. And I remember when he announced that he had cancer, he said, "I can see you, my listeners, when I speak to you." And my friends, that inspired me. It inspired me, a deep inspiration, because I know that you and I may never meet. I know that you and I may never be able to speak face to face. And I admit and I confess that I have not been able so far, because I work. I'm a working person. I have a job. I have to make a living. So I can't give over my whole entire time to establish a means of you and I speaking with each other. I think it would be great. However, I will tell you that in the past I've done podcasts, and I've had people call in and use foul language, use 4-letter words, use all kinds of nastiness. I don't have a call screener. I don't have a Bo Snerdley, as Rush Limbaugh does. I don't have somebody to protect me. The speaker of a podcast, the speaker of a rally, the speaker of anything in the front of an audience is very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. And I sometimes get afraid because Archbishop Romero, Roman Catholic Archbishop in Mexico, standing in front of a congregation of worshiping people at the altar of his church, was assassinated by a member of that congregation, well, actually an outsider, who entered the congregation. And Archbishop Romero, believing in the sanctity of the church and the sanctity and the sacredness of public worship and the sacredness of gathering together and the freedom that he had to stand up in front of a congregation, he was brutally murdered and assassinated by a Cuban-type socialist assassin, shot to death. It terrifies me, and I'm sure it terrifies the Secret Service all the time that the president appears in public. And right now, we don't know what's going to happen, my friends. We don't know if we're ever going to have rallies again. We don't need public gatherings. I think President Trump is going to try. He's a brave and bold man, a very courageous man. It will put a great tax on the Secret Service, but I think it can be done, it should be done, to restore our American freedom to ourselves, by ourselves, in gatherings together. Whether that will happen or not, I do not know. But, it's a difficult thing. And so Rush Limbaugh said, "I can see you, I can vision you, I imagine you in my mind's eye." And my friends, I do too. This is a podcast downloaded by about 18,000 people, which is a great number, and I appreciate that. And these great people listen to this, and I vision you in my mind. I vision you, males and females, young and old, of all races and colors and creeds, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time of your life to listen to the time of my life as we share together in this journey of President Trump and the United States of America. So thank you very much for listening. Please pray for me. I happen to be a Christian. I don't know whether you're a Jew or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian, but whatever it is, I pray for you. I do. And I ask you to pray for me. So, listen, friends, until next time, this is Frederick Henry, and thank you very much for listening to the Frederick Henry Podcast Show.